Welcome, Star Wars fans. Here we talk about all things Star Wars with rumors, facts, news, and random shenanigans. Get ready and strap into your Millennium Falcon. This is the Force Choke Podcast.
All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 78 of the Force Choke Podcast. I'm here with the council. Myself, I'm Lewis. We also got Micah, Tim. We're missing Sarah today, but in her stead, we're going to have a really good podcast. We appreciate everybody watching, listening, asking questions, following, subscribing, and all that great stuff on all the social medias. But let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, Chapter 9, entitled The Marshal. So the first question I have off the bat with you guys is Season 2, Episode 1 was a little bit longer than any of the other episodes in Season 1. But in your guys' opinion, was it hot or was it a flop?
Kind of question is that? Tim?
Just asking.
It wasn't a flop. I think if it so here's the thing, and I'm not calling out the entire Star Wars fans in general, but if they just left the show, and I'm going right to the cliffhanger here at the top of the show, but if they didn't put that scene where Boba Fett's standing there watching as Mando leaves.
I think we lost Tim.
Is that a cliffhanger?
They cut him off.
Disney said nope.
Nope. We totally missed that, Tim. You left us on a cliffhanger.
So I think it still would have been good, but I just feel like a lot of people would have judged the first episode it's incredible, it's amazing, it just blows me away because they had Boba Fett at the end. That was the thing. Same thing with Rogue One with Darth Vader right at the end, just destroying people because they just want to showcase how powerful he is, and seeing that on screen is yes, this is the Darth Vader I want. Well, it's you barely get Boba Fett, but they get, the fans are getting something out of the past on screen again. I don't know. They just love that shit.
So I had a quick. I guess I have a
I'm just saying,
question.
People may be overreacting on the episode. I think it was still good. It was great, but might be overreacting.
So Tim's not saying it's hot, and he's not saying it's a flop. He's saying it was lukewarm.
God damn it. Tim, quick question regarding that. Are you saying, from I guess the things that you've seen online, that people are liking it only because they saw a glimpse of Boba Fett, or are you saying they weren't liking it because they're teased with that and they didn't get anything else?
The talk of the there's two things I've noticed from the fans' reactions on different social medias. It's the whole that everyone's excited about, and the most common comments about the show have been Boba Fett and have been the Marshal. Right? That's the most. No talk about the dragon. No talk about the Raiders or the Pearl. It's just them two, and also there was something else too, but it's a lot of that. The most commented and likes have been those topics, those conversations. So it seems like these people are really liking this new character. When he came out, I felt a little odd about it. I just felt is this right for Star Wars? It felt weird. But as a story progressed and you got a little bit of his past and how he's there now as the Marshal, to protect the town, okay, I started to. I guess I needed that to like his character more. It was good. I mean, but
Yeah.
that's what I see, Mike. That's what I'm seeing, Micah. Is like uh, all those likes and comments have been uh, generally those two characters
Oh,
for the
okay.
for the first two episodes.
Okay, I got you. No, I was just curious. I wasn't sure what you meant. I guess I hadn't seen that. I haven't been as attached to, I guess, the buzz
Oh.
recently regarding it, but I was just like, wait, they didn't like it or they did like it, but I guess everyone needs something to bitch about, so maybe that's what was going on with it. Um, but for me personally, I love the episode. I think that was the first thing I saw when I commented like, "Hey guys, it's up." For starters, was that it's longer, so hopefully maybe that's a trend that we see going forward. Because I think the average runtime for the last ones, not including the credits, was like what 30 minutes, 35 minutes maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So with having a bigger budget, knowing that the show was obviously wildly successful from season one, hopefully maybe we get to see that the continuing episodes for season two are longer because they are able to do more things. They have a bigger budget, but obviously I think we would also do is that we would like to see it longer, like this episode one, chapter 9, the Marshal, but also not at the sake of bleeding the story longer just for the sake of it being a longer episode. You know what I mean? Like, if you need to cut it down 5 minutes and have a really great episode, then that's what you have to do. But
No.
first things first, I was excited about that.
You'd be all mad though if it was just 5 minutes, no matter how great it is.
Well, no, no, no.
Man.
I mean, for me, like, I just know season one. I was like, man, this would be, this is a great, show. I wish it was a little bit longer, but okay. But I'm just saying, like, I just hope that they don't get like in the mindset like we have to have a runtime of 45 minutes, and then it's like we got 42. We have to put in some filler shit for 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not something we'll notice, but I want it to all be good for the
Yeah.
sake of however long it actually is supposed to be. Hopefully, we just get an extra 15 minutes of it being good. Um, I think one of the first comments I saw though was that the cutscene directly like out of KOTOR, Knights of the
Mm-hmm.
Old Republic, with the with the Krayt Dragon
I like that you brought that up, Micah.
from the game. Because I vaguely remembered it, but then someone like it was one of the Star Wars like fan pages or something, and they put like the cutscene. I'm like, oh god, that's like almost like copy paste.
Yeah.
With the exception of the characters involved. Hey, buddy, back down. Go on.
Yeah. I have seen some of that as well.
But yeah, and it had the Mandalorian feel, from season one, but it just seemed like there was improvements all the way around, and I was really excited about it.
And the quality was superb, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. And there's just a funny little like nuanced things like throughout the thing. I'm like, oh, they're doing that, they're doing that. Like I don't know if I ever heard it in the season one, but I mean they've always said this is a Western out in space. I think they call it spaghetti Western or something like that. But when he's walking in, Mando's walking in, it sounds like you hear like what the fuck is it called?
Spurs.
The Spurs. There you go.
Spurs are jingling,
Like it sounded like there were Spurs going around. I'm like, I don't remember them doing that in season one, but it was just these little nuanced things that they add that it just kind of it makes it feel like it gives it more depth and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they personally did a great job. I'm excited to see what's going forward. And yeah, it was great to bring it back to what Tim was talking about, Boba Fett. I'm excited with that. I know there's already speculation. Some people were trying to say that that's not Boba Fett. Like, how did a clone get there or something? I'm like, that's Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's stretching it a little bit.
We're not going to have that conversation.
That's something I would do.
I wondered why it smelled kind of weird in this chat room. Hopefully it wasn't the bad poo-poo, but
Woo!
I guess I get that out before you had the chance to gaslight us all, Lewis.
Well, I'm gonna say I feel like Tim a little bit. I think it was better than lukewarm, right? I'd give this one probably an 89 out of 100. If we're talking on a grade scale. There's a couple of things that I'll talk about as we kind of go through the episode why I felt that way. But the quality was superb. I mean, my eyes were just eating everything that they were throwing at me. You know what I mean? It was very enjoyable to watch visually. One of the things that I did love but I found out about it later, was that John Leguizamo
Oh yeah.
was in this. I didn't even know. Did you guys?
No, I didn't know. Yeah, till later, much later. When I first saw it, it actually wasn't a Star Wars page or anything. When I first saw the news on it, it was John Leguizamo posting on his Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Because I follow John Leguizamo on Facebook, and he had posted that he was that character.
Oh wow.
I saw the title cards like at the end, like where they had the animated title cards for the
Mm-hmm.
credit scenes, and I saw his name. I was like, who the hell is he? You
Yeah.
know, but I mean, yeah, because they. Well, I don't want to. I'll let you get back to your thing, but I knew about that like right as to finish the episode. But going back, I was like, fucking, which one was he? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I thought that's really great that John Leguizamo. I mean, he did that for Spawn, where he donned all this makeup, and you didn't even, you know what I
Oh
mean?
hell yeah, man! He
Goddamn
was great
clown.
in Spawn.
Yeah. So I think that's awesome that whether he was in that character suit or not, he lent his talents, his vocal talents to that character. You know what I mean? It's kind of a
Yeah.
scumbag character,
Well, yeah, it's crazy too because they did a lot of like where they added like touched it up with audio, like his
Mhm.
vocals and stuff. So that's what it threw me off. But when I rewatched it last night, there was a one statement he said, I forgot what it was, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I could
You're
hear it,
like, I
like
hear it.
just that little snippet, like I'm like, okay, that was definitely like Leguizamo.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of cool though because we talked about Star Wars being this big cultural thing, and even in the movies, like there's cameos that you had no idea. Like Daniel Craig, James Bond was the stormtrooper
Yeah.
in the scene where Ray's locked up, and just like
Yeah.
these little things are here just because actors are fans too,
Yeah.
and like to get little cuts. Like, are we gonna see his character again? Well, obviously not. But
Yeah.
like, are we gonna see Timothy Olyphant's character as a marshal again? Maybe, maybe
Yeah.
not. But like, get to see those kind of like one little cameo things. I think it's really cool. Again, it kind of goes to show of what the Star Wars culture is in itself. Where
Yeah.
you have big name actors like, I want to be in it. Yeah, I don't give a shit if it's an episode. Let me do my thing.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly right.
there was quite a few last season, and I'm
Yeah,
sure there's
absolutely.
going to be a lot more this season. So,
Hmm. Absolutely. All right. So another thing I was going to ask you guys was, seems like Mando is okay with droids now. Is that because in last season IG-11 kind of saved them from whom?
I didn't catch that.
uh,
Did you catch that, Micah?
maybe,
Or is it just
I did. It's when he came off the Razor Crest when he landed at the spaceport, and like, oh, go away, boys, because they're gonna go like start cleaning up the ship. Go away, boys. This one doesn't like your kind or whatever. He goes, that's okay. All right,
yeah.
do a once over on it. Yeah, that's what I was kind of just taking from it. Like, I guess he kind of had a just he was in okay moment where I guess like okay, I guess they're not all terrible,
Yeah.
because we know
But
why he doesn't like droids from his childhood.
mhm.
But maybe the IG-11 thing was okay. Well, I guess they all can't be that bad. I am a nurse droid.
That's pretty good.
Uh,
So Tim, you didn't pick up on that, or you just had forgotten
No,
about that scene?
I both. I had forgotten about that, and I didn't pick up on that. But now that you say it, yeah, of course, that makes a lot of sense. Also, it's the fact, not just because what IG did for him and his friends, but uh, also I think he's looking at like who's raising these droids, It's
Oh,
not
okay.
about like like
Yeah.
he doesn't really know where they came from, but like who is the one that's who are they beside or who are they following
Yeah.
that tells them, okay, you're probably more like this human here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Micah, you talked about, several cameos that may happen. One of the ones that I really enjoyed, and it harkens back to the original trilogy, was R5, the the red droid that had a bad motivator. I
And they
thought
were
that
like,
was kind of cool.
they were shitting on him in the episode too. They're like, R5, bring me over that map. Come on, bitch, I'm waiting. It's like,
I know, for real.
come alone.
Yeah, I know. Like, come on now, come on.
That was funny.
Yeah, I
It's,
thought that
it's
was really cool.
But as soon as her character, I don't remember her name, his contact in that little spaceport. Do you
Oh, I
remember?
don't. No,
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
I was just cracking up though because as soon as she said R, I was like, what?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, oh shit, that asshole's still around somehow.
So I was curious, guys. Y'all were talking about the Marshal earlier, and Tim, you said that I don't know, it didn't feel quite right seeing him with the Mandalorian armor on, Boba Fett's armor on. But before we get into that, how do you think that the Jawas got that armor?
Uh, uh man.
Because they
And
ain't they ain't going into the Sarlacc pit.
how long do Sarlaccs live?
Thousands.
Man, I think they're thousands and thousands of years.
Because
Because it's a plant. I think it's a plant organism
it's
with
an
like
organism
with I guess you
within
would,
the planet's crust.
yeah, but I think it's also has organs like other organisms. I think it has a heart and
Yeah.
other things. You know.
Well, I don't know. Well, let's say Boba Fett did get out with did
This is
did
still
he
up for
keep his
debate.
armor? Like did he there's a lot to it, man. If he didn't, I can see that because Jawas what they steal their shit, right?
Yeah,
Or they
they pretty much
I mean
steal it. Yeah, it's scavengers.
so either they scavenge
They
they
got sticky fingers.
somehow
Little
uh
bastard.
man, I don't know. I can't see them
Who would kill
take
Jawas?
I can't see them going in and
Pop!
taking it out of out of that pit. It would have to. It's some way. Somehow, some way it came out.
You know what I'm thinking? In Return of the Jedi, I did the Sarlacc kind of like burp a couple of times. I wonder if it spit out the armor.
Yeah,
Something like that. I don't know.
stretch.
I could be wrong, Lewis, and I'm going to use because I know you're pretty much our Star Wars knowledge legends
Yeah.
extraordinaire on the show. Um, isn't there a story in Legends where like he's beat the shit, he's fighting the Sarlacc to get out, but he finally does get out, and something happens where I'm not talking about the one. I'm not talking about, or maybe it is one and the same. I just didn't remember the name, where he like someone else uses his armor and poses as him. But I
Yeah.
thought that there was a story where like he's fighting to get out. He's beaten up real bad or something, and he has to like give up his armor for them to like kind of bring him back to health or something like that.
On
Is
that
there?
end, I'm a little. I do know that he fought his way to get out of the Sarlacc pit, right? From that point to when he meets up with Jodo Cast, I'm a little hazy on. I'm not gonna lie there.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought I
Yeah.
read something somewhere where, and like I said, I could be totally wrong, and maybe this is what Disney does, maybe it's not, but I just thought there was something weird about that where it was like, it was obviously not meant to last, but just for the sake of him surviving,
Yeah.
because I just can't see that like the Sarlacc spits it up or whatever, and because like you would imagine like that was probably one of the only things keeping him alive when he was in the Sarlacc pit was probably his armor, you know. And that especially it seems like it's been some time. It's been a couple of years
Yeah.
since him going into the Sarlacc pit versus what we saw on that.
Well, I have something that I'm gonna ask you guys later, or actually a statement or a question. One of our followers from Instagram, Andre Thomas, wanted me to share and ask you guys about it because he kind of came up with the theory possibly on Boba Fett's armor, etc. So maybe we can come back to that if we have time. So talk to me about, Tim, why you didn't feel that the Marshal, the armor just didn't feel right when you saw him.
First, he seemed like very, very charismatic for his introduction into the scene. Like instead of being worried about the outsider in his town, taking things seriously, he just seemed very, very relaxed, very like, okay, you know, who are you? Why are you here? Kind of a deal. Yeah, just so charismatic, I think. Which I just wasn't used to in Star Wars. I mean, I can't think of any characters like that. If you know, let me know, because I don't.
Han Solo,
He was not that charismatic.
Lando Calrissian.
Okay,
You old
okay,
dog.
no, Lando. Okay, I get you on Lando.
Back up.
Okay, yeah, maybe Lando, but
No, I see what you mean. Like he kind of had this meandering appeal. Like he didn't care, but like look at me, I'm flashy with this borrowed shit. I mean, I get what you're saying. Automatically to me though, like it totally stood out. I was just like, well, it's kind of like you're going through a growth spurt and your clothes don't fit. It's like the pants are too small. Like it's just like you see all this like gap in his armor and shit. Like as opposed if you look like, you know, at least the way he's wearing, you know, whatever fabric he wears or some shit. It just seemed like here's a helmet, neck.
Yeah.
Here's the body armor. It's like it just seemed like
it's all disjointed, right?
Yeah. Well, brother, can I borrow your cool football pads or some shit like that? No, it just totally didn't make sense to me, and I was really excited because I told myself when I was like, he's pulling the drink up like for the spotchka, like, and I was like, he's gonna take off the helmet and Amanda's just gonna freak the fuck out, like, you're not a fucking Mandalorian, you asshole.
And that's a great segue because
wait.
Oh, good. Go, Tim. Go.
I was gonna say, I was just thinking on that when Michael was saying like where, what did you say, Michael? It just like it just didn't make sense the way it, you know, he was wearing it. It just didn't fit him, right. I think that's what they were going for. I think they wanted to cast someone that where the armor just didn't fit him to let the people know like this doesn't belong to him. This is someone else's armor. So I think that casting went the way they wanted. They wanted people to think that the armor doesn't fit a character; it belongs to someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. I totally agree. Yeah. But Micah gave us a great segue into Mando demands the armor from the Marshal, right? He's like, hey, take it off. Let's do this. The Marshal's like, right here. What about the kid? You want him to see this? He's seen exactly, right? And so then all of a sudden, the dragon comes, and then Mando changes his mind and is like, you know what? I'll help you to get the armor, which I thought was kind of strange because at a certain point, it's like, man, this is a lot of trouble to go through to get the armor. when I could
Mhm.
just kick this guy's ass and just take his goddamn armor.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I kind of like lowered it a little bit, because I was like, wait a minute, if I was Mando, I'd be like, you know what, this shit is too much. I got somewhere to go with this kid. Give me the damn armor. We gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like sounds like a personal problem. Just getting my shit. I'm about to take off.
Yeah, you know
Um,
what I mean? Uh,
and yeah, and even in rewatching it last night, it was funny because they're having a discussion where they're like, "That's not the scale." No, it is. And we're
yeah,
like, and he's having a conversation. Even Cobb Vance's character, is it Vant, right? Okay, yeah, Vant, Vandt. Okay, anyway, but Cobb Vance's character, the Marshal, is talking to Mando. He was like something to the effect of, maybe we need a better negotiation. Like I just kind of felt like to me, he was even saying like, "You sure this armor is worth all this bullshit?"
yeah,
Like, it's a very good point that you bring up, Lewis, because it's like I don't know, maybe he's like trying to turn over a new leaf, like with his attitude about the droids and what he had just gone through, and like people aren't
yeah,
exactly fighting for him. He's just kind of chilling, looking for these old sorcerers, these Jedi. Like
yeah.
maybe he just sprung a new leaf, spurn turned over a new leaf. Fuck, I can't make talks, make talk. Ah!
Talk.
But maybe he's just kind of like, oh, that's cool, man. Just give me the armor, I'll kill you. Oh, you want
Yeah.
me to do something for you?
Okay, why not? Let's do this.
Because
Yeah.
because it is definitely where it's like you haven't heard of a Mandalorian. Like they just hold this reverence. Obviously, you see that with Timothy Olyphant taking the Marshal, taking it and walking into that little, I guess, uh, saloon. Um, like, oh fuck, we better just
Yeah.
start this cat kind of thing. Like they definitely hold some kind of reverence. So I wonder if there's something there, and like if there's something to like the Mandalorian Creed kind of stuff, where it's like, okay, well, I don't have to kill him. I'm definitely willing to kill him, but if he's making up a proposition, at the very least, I'm not going to cower away from that. You know,
Same thing with the gambling, maybe, where where
when it can
at
be
the very
avoided.
beginning, yeah, are you a gambling kind of guy? And not if I have to be, you know?
Basically saying, with my life, son,
Yeah.
not stupid money.
You know, it's odd that you bring up, holding reverence to things, Micah, because it seems like
It's
um, if it could we revere that the Marshal was riding part of Anakin's pod racer?
Um,
I brought it up. Yeah, Tim, I'll let you go.
I
That was a sigh.
don't know. uh, the pod racer was there on that planet when they had that race.
Yeah,
Yeah, on Bunta Eve.
the Boonta Eve race on Tatooine.
Oh man. There were there any other any other pod racers in that race that looked like that? It was just Anakin's.
Just Anakin's.
It's hot. It's likely it's his, but the bottom of it didn't look the same. It was just the top.
I I I personally think it probably wasn't his.
Mhm.
It's definitely
Wait, if
meant.
the bottom was damaged, then they repaired it, and that's why we see it different.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of time that that has
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Yeah, so I would imagine like they, whatever you want to call it, the same pod racer class, manufacturer,
And
whoever.
yeah.
Like it's definitely meant to be an Easter egg, like to harken back to that.
Mhm.
Because the engine looks the same, but the color looks different.
Yeah.
Like it's red on like the inside of it, and like
Yeah.
the inside and the underbelly. And even then too, like who's to say? Maybe it is his. And they obviously had to do modifications to turn that single engine into a speeder. So who's to say for whatever reason it didn't get painted somehow, or they had to use spare parts from something else to do that. But I mean, at the very least, I think they just simply use it to, like, hey, we're on Tatooine. Oh shit, that's right. this little
Yeah.
kid Anakin, this only human who could do pod racing, was doing this. I mean, I think they just explore that for the Easter egg, because I
Yeah.
was looking at somewhere else, and the woman that Mando sees when he touches down at the spaceport, she's working on something that looks to be almost like it's one of the engines of a pod racer, similar to Sebulba's
Hmm.
pod racer's class. I hadn't gone back and like really, took my magnifying glass to the TV kind of thing,
Yeah.
but I was seeing comments about that, so I'm like, that that would be interesting, just their way to kind of interweave a lot of these old, things to like just to kind of give you clarification. Like a lot of shit's happened on Tatooine, but we've also seen that over the course of, it's 60 years kind of thing,
I was
going
gonna
all the way
say
back
those
from
would be
episode one to
old
this.
racers, right? At this point,
Yeah.
some old hardware.
So I mean, it was really neat to see that they had done that. But as far as is it actually Anakin's, I'd probably say no,
Yeah,
because his was
probably
just
kind of same
you go.
model or something like that.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
what that would be my bet. Well, because even then, from Anakin's race to that point, it's like what 45, 50 years,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And his was just barely holding on with spare parts anyway. With Anakin made that,
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
still making it as a slave, as his little sidekick,
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
so
So I want to ask you guys. There was plenty of action in this episode. How did y'all feel about them getting ready, planning out, issuing a plan, putting it into place to take out the cracked dragon?
Tim,
Thinking about it. That
ding.
scene where uh, he talks in their language.
I
Yeah,
dug,
Look at
I
him like,
dug
what
all
the
that shit.
hell?
That was fucking cool.
I guess it's part of the job. Uh,
I'm sure there's
I
Tusken
mean,
Raiders all over the place on different planets, you know?
Yeah.
I liked it. I didn't see a problem with it. Um, it's I don't know. Have we seen that before in the last season where they were planning things out right with Cara Dune and getting ready
Yeah.
for the attack?
Mhm.
Kind of, yeah,
Uh,
because
so it was just one of those moments again, only this time with the working with the enemy to
Mhm.
take down to get his armor back.
Now, Tim, you're big on the visuals. How did you feel about this visually? The actual, attack on the dragon.
the aesthetic.
Okay. I'm sure it was really good. From what I was watching.
You
my
have
my
watched it,
internet
right? I'm sure it was good.
my
Did you
my
watch it,
streaming
Tim?
was good, like for a little bit, but every now and then I would get like these frames blurring,
Uh,
kind of like in
Oh, that's
certain
rough.
scenes, especially like whenever they were on the pod racers traveling through, I thought it was like that the technology they're using to film the vision. I was like, what? Why does it look like that? Uh, I don't know either if it's because my TV's too good, I can tell, or or the streaming was that bad that I could see all of these frames like that. Uh,
That
I
is
don't
a
know.
little.
I mean, if y'all saw it, great. I mean, I would have to see what it would look like on your TV or something. But I thought for me and watching it, it didn't. I'm sure it was good, but I just from my end, like I didn't see much.
how about you, Micah?
I thought it looked clean as hell. Like, yeah, I thought it was great.
Okay.
As as far as the visuals is concerned, I mean, I know that is a thing, Tim. It's like trying to watch the season one of Walking Dead on a 4K on
Yeah.
Blu-ray and stuff, because it's like you can tell that's really not good because it's not entirely designed for that.
Mhm.
But I mean, I have a 4K TV, and it's not top flight shit like yours, but it looks very clean, and I think that's one of the praises you have to give overall, really. I mean, I would say this to all the Star Wars, because I mean, hell, they've had to do innovation, they've had so many advancements to make things better for the audio, for the visual and stuff, and seeing how they're shooting this stuff now with those like large screens in the background, to like, oh, in the past it would just be painted. It's like, nah, bitch, that's a TV over there. We could put all kinds of stuff on it. I mean, more or less. I thought the visuals were fantastic. As far as the planning aspect, I mean, it kind of goes back to your previous question. Like, if you buy into him spending the time to work to get this armor back, you're gonna buy into the notion of him setting up a plan. I did really enjoy a lot of the interaction he had with the Raiders, though, because
that was
it's
cool.
because it's like all you've seen of them is like these little devious assholes that are just kill you if they can, and if not, just shoot you from afar. Like, I remember back just to the Boonta Eve race on episode 1, they're just sitting there and just trying to pick them off from the just from the side or whatever, and they're laughing. Oh, it looks like young Annie got shot by a raider or whatever. Like, so it was really cool, I think, to have that interaction with them just overall. And before
they're animals, so I killed them like animals.
The women, the children. Real quickly before I forget, though, I saw it somewhere. They brought in I think a deaf woman to help kind of create that language for the Tusken Raiders, because obviously cool. A lot of the auditory for it was to us would be like grunts, but there's a lot of
hand movements
and stuff, and I had read a report. I have to go back and find it, and maybe I can post it on the page. I don't know why I didn't, but I read somewhere, and it seemed like it was a legit thing, not just like, hey, did you hear about they're going to do this 17 episodes in the future kind of thing, but that they had brought in someone that exclusively communicates through signing.
Wow.
That they used that to help kind of create this language for the Raiders. And I just like, it just kind of added the depth and
absolutely.
Just, I mean, you see, and it's really fantastic, the engagement between them, and it's not just usually we just hear them as waving their guns in the air, and it's so much that.
No, I agree. That's a neat nugget there that you brought out. I was unaware of that.
Yeah, I'll have to find it after this and post it or whatever. Hopefully, I'm not bullshitting you that I didn't read it, but hopefully what I read wasn't bullshit, because that would be really, if they had done that. Kind of like how Star Wars pulled in like a bunch of veterans to do Rogue One.
Yeah.
Of course, some of that we didn't exactly see for more of the marching on the planet. So, what's the name of that planet now? I just exposed myself. What's the name of the planet? Scarif, there you go. I wanted to say Scrawl. I don't know. But yeah, it was just another way for Star Wars to bring in other groups into it, I thought. So yeah.
So one of the last questions that I have for you guys before we have a Chapter 9 quiz is Boba Fett returns, but how? So, Andre Thomas, who's one of our followers, and he comments on our page and stuff, and we appreciate that, Andre. He says, and this is from what he sent me. Oh my gosh, my screen just went black. Okay, there it goes. Now Andre says, on The Mandalorian, we know when Mando says he would blast the crack dragon from the sky, the Marshal says that it would feel the bright vibrations and just go deeper into the earth. We also know that the entrance of the crack dragon's cave could have really been the exit to the cave. Now, what if the explosion from Jabba's floating palace sent vibrations through the ground, which made the dragon attack and kill the Sarlacc. And in the attack, it cut the Sarlacc open, allowing Boba Fett to escape.
I never heard of. Yeah, that's the first time I've heard of that theory.
I like
So
it though.
thank you, Andre Thomas, for voicing that, sending us that. So hey, why don't we discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, I like that theory, to be honest with you, because because they're not going to outright tell you things going forward, but they will say these little bits that you actually do find that kind of helps lay out a story going further. And so they mention it's like, what do you mean Sarlacc being dead or something? Like, well, it's never been eaten, or it's alive as long as it hasn't been eaten. I forgot the exact line that they use in the show. So it kind of goes to show like, oh, okay, they're not invincible or whatever. And then seeing how we have that engagement there, seeing how we didn't see this creature beforehand, and the location that we see Boba Fett watching Mando take off on the speeder bike. Location. Like, I don't think it's that far to assume, or is that hard to assume that maybe, in fact, that's a possibility. Maybe that's the Sarlacc. Maybe that's where it was hiding at the Sarlacc. It was hiding at the Sarlacc, in which where Boba Fett was at and had escaped. And maybe maybe Boba Fett had been recovering this whole time and was working his way back there. And then that's when he sees Mando going like, well, shit, I got to deal with this guy now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like the idea. I like the theory. And it seems something that Star Wars would do to interweave all these little notions together into this overarching thing.
You know what I would love to see? Maybe a flashback from Boba Fett of exactly how that happened.
You have to, at least to show how an escape.
Yeah. So how about you, Tim? You liking that idea?
I do like it. It sounds very well like thought out, creative to do that. I can see like a writer for the show doing that. I'm just wondering, like, why would Boba Fett wait so long to get his? I mean, does he want his armor back even? To like, I could see like, is he gonna track down what through all that time? Like, he could have tracked down his armor and gotten it himself.
Well, it's interesting because that you bring that up, Tim, because the way he's dressed, he's like carrying gaffy sticks that the Sand People usually carry. I mean, maybe they revived him.
Yeah.
Maybe the Sarlacc is kind of like the Borgullet. Maybe he's lost some of
Borgullet knows
Yeah.
all.
You know what I mean? He looks pretty scarred up in the face. You know what I mean?
Lies, deception. Sorry.
Did you come here to kill me? There's not much left. Oh man. But oh damn.
How good a job DeForest would have done on Saul.
He did great, man.
But back to this. Sorry.
Yes, but back to Boba Fett. You know, we don't know what's going on with him. We got like 5 seconds worth of action, not even action, but of Boba Fett there. So,
I bet you, and that I kind of briefly mentioned, but I think that would make sense, because like, okay, something happens or he escapes, or I mean, we know we've seen like every episode, like Mando is trying to use his a flamethrower and shit.
Yeah.
So I could just imagine, and that'd be really neat if they did that to explain this, because Star Wars fans, for the most part, not looking at Legends, because especially since Disney took over, like Boba Fett's this badass and he just dies. Like, what the hell? So maybe there is a scene where like he's fighting it in there and just barely holding on, and then maybe the Krayt Dragon comes in and kills it and he's able to survive. He's probably like crawling away or whatever, and maybe he just like passes out in the desert, and maybe that's how.
And then that's where the Jawas scavenge off
Yeah.
the armor.
Yeah,
Maybe.
exactly. Then maybe he just gets picked up by some group, and he's like, kind of recovering. Hell, maybe he even had memory loss or something,
Mhm.
and then it's coming back because it has been. Because what do they say? Like it's like 5 years, more or less.
Yeah.
From Mando versus the end of episode
Mhm.
6.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's what happened. Like maybe he was fighting it for some time. He has amnesia. He was taken in by a group, and he's falling on his own. Who's to say someone didn't pick him up and that they were using him for slave labor? This was Tatooine, mind you, still.
True.
And they're like,
that's a great point.
oh, who's to say that they weren't like beating the shit out of him? Like, no, you're gonna work for us. And him being Boba Fett, eventually kills him, takes what he can, because he very much looks like a scavenger. The way he's dressed and all, like the sticks that he has on him, and I think one of them was a blaster.
Yeah, one of them is a
Kind of see
blaster.
one of them. It's like a fastened, like handle on the one sticking out. So that would be really great. But I think for me, I just want to mention before I forget. I think we were starting to run out of time.
Yeah.
One of the first things I thought is because when we see the Marshal wearing the armor, it's like, all right, this guy's full of shit. Like, there's no way that that's Boba Fett. And again, me thinking like he's gonna take off the helmet, and we know that that's a big deal. And Mando's gonna freak out, and be like, "What the hell are you doing, Mandalorian?" So what's gonna happen if once we finally see that exchange between Mando and Boba Fett? Or I guess in this case, we just need to say Boba Fett and Din Djarin. What's going to happen with that exchange when it's like you just kind of lost yourself to the Creed kind of thing by showing his face? He's probably not going to maybe really give a shit anymore, but it's like that's still my armor. Like I'm just curious to see what it's going to be like, because this whole time, like, are we going to see his face? Are we going to see his face? We get to see his face in the season finale of season 1, but to IG-11, not a living thing, so to speak. So what are we going to see? What happens when like the thing that makes you a Mandalorian no longer is applicable to Boba Fett in this case?
Yeah.
I just think that's going to be an interesting exchange. Hopefully, we get to see in the future episodes of this season.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to make for a great story if they include that. I think that kind of interaction between those two.
Isn't the Slave One around somewhere still?
I would think so. It has to be, right?
Because I mean, I'd imagine he took it to Jabba's palace, and
and
it's not like I'm not coming back here. I'm gonna die. He knew that Boba Fett knew that was gonna happen to him.
So all right, who wants to make a pizza bet that we see Slave One in this season?
Dude, that would be so awesome. I brought it up, so I'm not gonna. I would have to make the bet that we would do see it, unless someone wants to bet against me. Tim,
I don't think so.
You don't think we'll see it, or what?
Oh, I don't think I'll bet. Like,
okay.
I
think we all say we're gonna see it. All right, we're gonna do a real quick Mandalorian trivia quiz with you guys. Okay. All right, Tim, we'll have you go first. Michael will go second. There's 6 questions.
Okay.
All right. If Tim doesn't get it right, Micah can steal, and vice versa. All right. So, what kind of creature was terrorizing the townspeople and Tusken Raiders? Tim.
What kind of what?
What kind of creature was
How
terrorizing?
dare you ask me this question?
The townspeople and the Tusken Raiders.
Oh, the crate dragon.
Very good. All right, Micah. What town was dragon terrorizing called?
I was just thinking about this. Like, okay,
so
it's not
mentioned
it's not Mos Espa. What the fuck is the name? Mos.
I know this one.
I was thinking about this in the beginning because I was going to mention this too, how it was a torn away city because of bandits. Oh, I look like a shithead right now. I'm gonna remember it. What's the first letter? Huh? Yeah.
Can you steal it?
Mos Pelgo, right?
Tim got it. Yeah, Mos Pelgo. All right. So Tim's up 2-0. Tim, what was the marshal of Mos Pelgo's name?
Cobb Vanth.
Very good.
How you spell the
All
last name?
right.
How you spell the last name? Because it didn't sound like you pronounced it correctly.
I already said the answer.
You enunciate the
All right.
last name again.
Cobb Vanth.
So you can't spell it, is what you're saying.
I'm going to give Tim the point, but Tim, if you were to spell it, how would you spell it?
Cobb, like Randall Cobb,
Okay, we're not talking about a Cobb salad. We're talking about the last name, son.
and then Vanth.
Correct. Nope, it's true. It's
No,
TH.
not.
It's TH.
I
All
went-
right.
I want to
So,
see the data banks because
all right, Micah. With credit, how long was season 2, episode 1, chapter 9?
How long can you hold your breath for? Approximately 37.58 seconds. I don't. Was it like 45 minutes?
Ooh, I think I know this one too.
That's a bullshit question. You're gonna
No,
ask
I know it. I remember.
minutes and seconds for the show with credit.
Well, I don't know the seconds. I just know the minutes.
No, I just
But
need the
doesn't
minute.
count. No bullshit. You said and seconds.
No, I said with credits, how long was season 1, episode 1, chapter 9?
You just said season 1, episode 1.
I'm sorry, season 2, episode 1.
Chapter 9.
Season 2,
The Marshal.
episode.
The
Yes,
Mandalorian
with-
on Disney Plus. 48 minutes?
Eh.
48, 45.
All right, Tim, can you steal?
Okay, is it 54 minutes?
It is 54 minutes.
Yes, I
Disney.
got it.
All right, Micah.
Tim's on his phone. We can't see his face. That's a bullshit
Dude,
question to begin.
I know that one, dude. I remember when I started the thing, I was like, oh, cool, it's 54 minutes long. And I remember that.
All right.
So
Micah.
text it to you fools,
Actually,
too.
right. No, it's Tim's turn. All right. So, what species is the bartender in Mos Pelgo? Cobb Vanth calls him by his species name, not by his name. So it is mentioned.
I don't remember what he looked like, actually.
You don't remember what he looked like?
Oh gosh, Micah, do you
He's
know?
asking for the name. We don't need to know. We don't need a description of him.
Well, I don't know.
I don't remember, Lewis.
It's that species is called a weakway, same species as Hondo. All right. Last question, Micah. Why do the Tusken Raiders want the Krayt Dragon carcass?
For the pearl.
For the pearl.
They said, well, it was weird because they made it seem for like a second like they want the meat.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're talking about the pearl, but they're also like in a moment, it's kind of like
For food, right?
with you.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, we got a pit big enough.
Well, did you see like because on his speeder bike, it looked like there's a huge slab of goddamn meat.
Yeah, I think he's taking it to dry it out.
I was just like,
yeah,
that
big ass brisket.
Real. No bone, all meat.
I think he even had Baby Yoda just like, like all licking his chops around it.
Yeah, for real. All right, bonus question. I'll have y'all either ding in or whatever for it.
Just answer it.
Right. So I posted on our private page on Instagram how you could use a Krayt Dragon pearl.
Yep.
How can you use it?
Can it also be used as a power source, like a kyber crystal? Not
Mike gets it right, and
it's
with
not
that
as
just
efficient.
totally redeems himself because that one was worth.
Totally redeem yourself.
That one was worth a 6-pointer.
Tim, you lost.
I don't like this.
Suck it.
Oh my gosh. So I hope you guys had fun doing that. Man, Tim, you were on a roll there, bro.
Yeah, man, 4 in a row.
Yeah, because a bunch of bullshit easy questions. Mind you, I did get an easy question wrong. I don't know why. I could not think of it. I'll name you the other cities.
But I'm looking forward to season 2, episode 2. See what that brings us. Hopefully, it's just a continuation of what we just saw. I mean, it was pretty fun, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping. I mean, because who's to say he couldn't just easily go back to spaceport, get the Razor Crest, and take off?
Mm-hmm.
I really hope we get to see. We all want to see Boba Fett. I get that, but I hope there's not. It's not like he takes off. We see something else, and then for some crazy reason he has to go back to Tatooine, and that's when Boba Fett gets from behind him and just.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hope we don't have to wait. Maybe we do, but.
I mean, if Boba Fett can, I'm sure he can, depending on what kind of transportation he has. I'm sure it's gonna take a while to load up the Razor Crest. So hopefully we'll see that interaction and what happens with these two this next episode.
You think he's following Mando? Because we all thought Boba Fett, right? I think we all did think Boba Fett was the one that picked up the bounty hunter that tried to snipe Mando on the other planet.
I don't know.
And now we see Boba Fett here.
Hold on 1 second, because I think we brought it up that we thought that's what the case was in episode 4 or 5 of season 1.
It's 4.
Tim, you weren't even convinced that was Boba Fett when you first watched this episode, though.
Lewis convinced me afterwards.
But I'm just saying, don't be playing that, because you're like, you weren't even convinced that was him. You kept them trying to make an argument that it was a clone.
You saying people can't change their minds off of proof?
I'm not saying people can't change their minds. I'm just saying don't pass it off like it's your theory, son.
It's not my theory. I'm just saying.
Lies! Deception!
I think that I don't see how it couldn't be anybody else but Boba Fett.
Of course. But I think Tim does bring an interesting point. Did he just happen to stroll up to that and sees someone wearing a Mandalorian armor, incidentally carrying Mandalorian armor that's his? Or was he tracking him?
Now that is a viable question.
Tim asked, I'm not taking credit for it.
Yeah.
Even though you don't give my credit sometimes.
I want to give Tim full credit for that one, because that was a great.
Oh, I'm glad of that.
So Tim, let me ask you.
Mando.
So the last time Mando was on Tatooine, and he was there with the young bounty hunter that wanted to be part of the guild, they went after Ming Na Wen's bounty hunter character, and at the end of that episode, we saw somebody approaching her, and we never found out who that was. Perhaps that was Boba Fett.
I think we know now it has to be him, yeah.
Right?
But just in what capacity, like, did he knew that Mando landed? Was he tracking him?
Yeah.
Because I gotta imagine he's gonna be like, this cat's wearing what kind of armor?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Let me talk to him. I don't know. That would be, well, thinking back now, wouldn't that be super interesting? Because regardless of what legend says, we know the Mandalorian people aren't a race anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a creed, it's a way of life kind of thing. It's a philosophy. We've never seen, like I said, I'm not going to talk about legends right now until it unfolds in the show. But we haven't, Boba Fett never took off his mask, his helmet. For what we've seen, that's canon now. So I'm wondering if he's kind of adopted that lifestyle or not, because Jango Fett didn't give a shit. That's money maker. I'm just wondering if he has that kind of notion instilled in him, like my honor's been stripped from me, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And we never know if Jango Fett is even a Mandalorian, right? He's just has Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not even part of that creed.
Maybe, yeah.
So, like you said, Micah, I'll give you credit for that one. It's gonna be some awesome interaction. When that does happen between Boba Fett and Din Djarin.
Because I was kind of hoping briefly before we saw him at the end that he see Mando and he's walking around like that, but like his face is wrapped. It's like, bitch, I may not have my armor, but you don't see this.
Yeah.
I haven't lost anything yet, but
I wonder, that's really interesting because will Mando consider him a Mandalorian? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Anymore. So that's in Boba Fett, if he's like, hey, that's my armor.
I got your armor.
Give it back. He's, Din Djarin's gonna be like, well, you're not supposed to take your helmet off, and you know what I mean. You're not part of this creed anymore. That's gonna be some major fireworks there, I think.
Maybe he'll be. I don't care about the armor. Give me the child instead.
You think he's gonna take the? This is how Din Djarin gets incapacitated. I knew it. Boba Fett takes Din Djarin's armor and then takes off with the Razor Crest.
I was about to think about that for a second too. He's gonna walk around. I mean, the story that you brought up. What if it happens to him? That would suck.
Oh,
I mean, that would
snap.
suck Din Djarin anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen my face.
Maybe that's gonna be the season.
Taking a face. Was it face off? I want to take his face off.
Oh man, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. What's good is at the time of this recording, we only got to wait one more day.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm always up that late anyhow, but I mean, it's pretty much for this time zone. It's pretty much public. 2-ish a.m. So.
I know it's. I might stay up this time to watch it. I didn't last time. I waited.
Star Wars fan.
All right, Tim, you want to wrap it up here?
Oh, this is episode 7.
Huh? We lost Tim again. Tim left us on a cliffhanger again. Twice in one
Cliff.
show.
Hey, Cliffy.
You can't hear me?
Now we can.
Yeah.
There it is.
That was a double cliffhanger, Tim.
I need to know what episode are we on.
I think episode 77, right? 77.
78.
Oh God. All right. All right, everybody. So thanks for listening to episode 78 of the Four Stroke Podcast, and catch us next time for episode 79. We'll talk about the next episode of Mandalorian. Peace out.